Hello, my name is Sama Russell, and you're listening to episode 64 of The Place of Sound. Thanks so much for tuning into this episode, and for those of you who have been following along through the past few episodes of the show, welcome back. For those of you who happen to be listening for the first time, The Place of Sound is a show that explores the theme of space or the social geography using sound and listening. We do so through a variety of audio media formats, so you can expect to do a few different types of listening in a single show. Episodes consist of what we refer to as audio portraits or oral history style interviews that explore the topic of home. Soundscape compositions, which use everyday sounds to communicate the personal and social significance of a given place. And we typically end the episode with a short documentary style piece that explores the place-based identity of the producer. The aim with these particular projects is to allow the producer to think about the places that made them who they are today. However, today's episode is going to be a little different. As some of you may know, I have been hosting episodes at The Place of Sound since January of 2023. And after a wonderful year and 3 months, my journey on this show is coming to an end. It's been an incredible experience not only hosting this show, but also listening to the immersive stories shared by other Carleton Communications students. I'm also grateful to have shared a piece of myself on episode 50, where I explored the different cities I've lived in and the sounds that have shaped me as a person. Now, even though I'm going to miss hosting The Place of Sound, I am leaving you in very good hands. I'm happy to announce that a fellow communications student, Natalie Hall, is going to be taking over this role and continue guiding you through future episodes. In today's episode, you'll get a chance to learn more about Natalie, where she's from, why she wanted to get involved with The Place of Sound, and the things she hopes to explore during her time on the show. So without further ado, let's welcome Natalie. Hello, Natalie.
Hello.
I'm so thrilled to be sitting here with you, and I'm so excited to learn more about you in today's little interview we're having. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so happy to be here. For the listeners who don't know where we are, we're in the Creation Studios.
The Media Commons.
The Media Commons in Southam, and it's like really high tech and cool and secret in here, and I'm just grateful to be here.
It's a very fun. Every time I'm in here, I'm like, I'm in my studio. Yeah. I'm in the zone.
I'm in the stew.
Yeah, it's so fun. How are you? How's your semester been? The semester's wrapping up. It's been I feel like it's been a crazy semester, but
yeah, it's been it's just been full throttle since the start of the semester, but I'm officially done.
Congrats.
Thank
Amazing.
you.
Another semester down.
1 or 2 more to go, depending. But I feel really good about it. I'm glad that summer is here, though. I don't know if I could have gone for much longer.
The weather doesn't really give summer, but
no.
Hopefully in the projected next few weeks, I think it's a good thing, we need rain because then
April showers
and then the flowers are going to bloom and it'll be auto summer soon. Fingers crossed. Why don't you tell me a little bit about where you're from, how you ended up in Ottawa and why you chose Carleton?
Yeah, for sure. I'm originally from the GTA. I went to high school in Mississauga, and I always knew I wanted to go to university far away from home. And I thought for a long time that I just wanted to do something in writing. I didn't know what. Carleton had this amazing journalism program, and it was 5 hours away from home. So like it checked all the boxes. And yeah, I moved to Ottawa after my first year because it was fully online. So I stayed home for a bit longer, and that was like...
You're like, I need to get out.
Yeah,
You're itching.
Which I love my mom.
Yeah.
It's nothing about her. I just wanted to feel independent. And now I've been here for 3 years, and I love it.
Isn't it crazy? I feel like first year was yesterday. I can't believe I just finished my 4th year. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, that was so fast. Where did all the time go?
It feels like yesterday, and every year I felt my brain getting bigger and learning more. So I definitely feel like a different person than when I was in first year, but it still feels like it was just yesterday.
Yeah, I so agree. I was just thinking about this recently of like how much I grew in 3 years, and I think living on your own independently just really, it's hard adulting, but it's also like it's so like awesome to feel how far you've come.
Yeah.
Although it feels like yesterday, you're like, I'm definitely not the same person I was when I first started. Here. So how are you liking your program? How is journalism? How's comms?
Yeah, it took a while to get into journalism because it's a really weird program to learn for the first time online. Required a lot of Zoom interviewing, and what I love about journalism now is how it can connect you with your community.
Nice, yeah.
And it was really hard to do that during COVID, especially being so scared to interview people, not really knowing how. But now I love it. It's so difficult. It's emotionally taxing, but it's a very worthwhile pursuit, I guess. And then comms, I mean, I love comms. Comms, I didn't think it would be, but it's kind of the creative side of my academic career.
Cool.
It's let me explore so many different topics, which is the thing I love most about communications, is it's so broad that you can really customize it to your own specific interests.
Yeah, I really find that too, especially I think in 4th year. There's so many different topics that you can like pick and choose from and like classes to take, and it's just like you said, just based off your interests. And I love that about this program. I didn't start in it initially, but I'm really glad I made the switch over because like I find I've been learning so much more and like enjoying it along the way. So yeah, I really love that. That's cool. So now that you've been living in Ottawa for 3 years, what are like some of your favorite things to do outside of school? Have you like explored the city and found your like space within it?
Yeah. I really love school. So
that's awesome.
Like a lot of my extracurricular activities, or just what I like to do outside of my schoolwork, is work on like CKCU, which is the school's radio station. But I go to a lot of local shows. Some of my close friends are in bands in Ottawa, and they play amazing music. They're gonna be famous and rich one day. And my friend Cole Hallman is Emerson Hall, and my friends are in the band Dart Trees.
Cool.
And there's just a bunch of Ottawa music I love to go and listen to, and that's the main thing I think that really made me fall in love with this city, is the music scene and the local venues and just the perseverance alongside everyone saying Ottawa is so boring. People in Ottawa have so much fun.
That's so true.
Like, I think that because Ottawa has this reputation for being a really boring town with nothing going on, that there is a determination amongst the youth to carve out their own little spaces in this city.
Yes, spot on. I remember, because I'm from Vancouver, and I talked about this in the episode that I did, but every time I would tell people in Ottawa that I'm from Vancouver, they'd be like, why are you in Ottawa? It's so boring here. Like, Vancouver is so much better. And I would say maybe in my first and a little bit of my second year, I would agree, but that was mostly because of COVID. But once restrictions eased off a bit and I got to like explore the city, I was like, this is an awesome place. Like, you do kind of have to search to find your people and like, you know, the music that you're into and stuff. But once you do like kind of tap in, there's just so many great avenues and people and like creatives that it just makes it so fun to be here. Yeah,
I think it's also really special when you have to search for it, because obviously you're gonna find somewhere cool in Vancouver or in Toronto or Montreal, but when you find those cool places in Ottawa, it's like the biggest reward.
Yeah, it's like, yes, like it's like a feeling of like, finally, I did it. Yeah, totally. So do you go to a lot of like live music shows and whatnot?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's so many great venues. The Rainbow's really awesome, and House of Targ and the Dominion Tavern. I've been to a lot of shows there, and at first it like kind of scared me.
Fair.
Because it's kind of punk, which is super cool, just can be very intimidating. But everyone there is so nice, and it's a great venue. And yeah, I go to a lot of shows. I like to go to the Mayfair.
Cool.
There's great bars in Ottawa. Just like all the I don't know, there's so much to do in the city.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm really gonna miss it. Yeah, it's just like, it's definitely become home for me the past couple of years. I'm sure you feel the same. Yeah. So you love like live music, and do you have like any favorite like specific spots in town that is like, I don't know, your go-to if you want to relax, if you want to grab a drink, or if you just want to like clear your head, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
or even like spots on campus.
If you walk across the bridge from Ottawa to Gatineau, which I used to have to do all the time because there was this one summer when I was trying to renew my passport.
Yeah.
And the closest passport office was in Gatineau. So I would walk over the bridge all the time. And right when you get across the bridge, you like walk down this hill and there's just a bench there. And you look out onto the water, and I would love to watch the water taxi go back and forth, which I've always also wanted to take. I really want to take the water taxi.
I didn't even know we had one.
Yeah, we have one. Cool. And it takes you like, probably takes you longer than to just walk across the bridge, but there's something about the charm of it that I need to tap into. Yeah. But Ward 14's really like a great first date spot for anyone coming into Ottawa. And I mean, I just love to be in my friends' homes and cook dinner, watch a movie, but definitely just like walking around the city, being outside, going to Major's Hill or something.
Right. Love it. So you mentioned that you do some work with CKCU. I'm just curious to know like how you first got into like radio and podcasting, and what led you to like the Place of Sound and taking over this role.
Yeah, for sure. Well, in journalism, there is a requirement to do a radio class in third year, where you have to learn how to edit audio and do interviews like via a recorder. And I really hated it at first because I think, really bad with technology, and it was a lot to wrap my head around. But then I chose to continue it in my 4th year. I did the advanced audio where we work on the current affairs show on CKCU called Midweek, which is always produced by journalism students.
Cool.
And that's how I kind of got, or how I found out about CKCU, was through Midweek, and we got a little tour of the studio. And I really just wanted to do something. I didn't even know what, but there was something about CKCU that I just loved. Like, I went there and I was so inspired. And I mean, I just think there's something so cool about community radio in general. I did a community radio class this semester, and it was so cool. And it's like such a fundamental communication like source or whatever.
Yeah.
So
like just giving I think it's just a good hub to have for people to learn about what's going on in the city that they live in, and like not only giving exposure to like local businesses but also like local artists and like just what's like going on in your city. Like it's I totally agree that it's a crucial thing. And like just getting in your car and like turning on the radio and kind of just hearing about what's going on around you. Yeah,
it's cheap, it's accessible, like it's so old, like it's just inherent,
right?
But I knew I wanted to do something, and then I started alongside my co-host Emily Cowan a show on CKCU called Easier Said Than Done, where we explore creativity and specifically how to be creative. So there's an aspect of the show that's providing tutorials. We did like an episode in the book arts lab, for example, of how to typeset and use like a really old style printing press. It was super cool. But I found the place of sound back in 2nd year when I declared my 2nd major in communications, and I was not super excited about that. I didn't think communications was going to be creative enough, since journalism is already a really practical and technical study. I wanted something that was more exploratory, maybe. And I was just kind of diving into it because I wanted to figure out if it was going to be fulfilling or not. And I found the place of sound, and it was one of the first resources that's like a part of the communications program that made me realize all of what communications can be and the creativity it can produce. Yeah. And ever since then, I've been gunning for your job.
You got it.
I knew Sama way before I even knew who you were, just through your voice and your name. And it's so crazy to be here with you. And like, you've done such a great job.
Oh, thank you.
It's huge shoes to fill.
Thank you so much. That's so kind. You're gonna do great.
She's teaching me. So
No, you've got all the skills in your back pocket. I have no doubt you're gonna do so great.
Thank you.
I couldn't agree more. With just like how this show like had showed me like the potential there is to explore in communications like in general. It's so cool listening to all the different projects that like I like piece together and the ones that you'll piece together, but it's just, again, it's kind of like city focused and it's like people focused and students at Carleton talking about their different experiences in life. And there's the element of sound just brings like such a different angle to it all. Because it's like easy to sit here and talk about, our lives and whatever, but kind of painting audio picture for people is like a whole different aspect to it. Which I didn't, again, like, yeah, before I discovered the show, I didn't even know that was a thing that people did, like producing episodes and incorporating sound and stuff. Yeah, and I'm glad that people listen. I'm glad that students listen. I think that's kind of the biggest thing that we want, is just more connection and for stories to be heard. And yeah, I'm just really glad you listen.
And if there's any communication students listening, take Vincent Andrusani's class. And tap into the power sound has, because it's really unreal when you see how it affects your environment and your mood, and sound is just so awesome.
Yeah, totally. I could not agree more. So now that you are taking this role and gonna be, controlling the ship, what are some things that you're like looking forward to while working on the show? Is there any like ideas that have come to mind, or just some things you've been thinking about?
I definitely, I don't know, to me it's so big right now. I definitely want to get a handle on the usual scheduled programming. But I would love if we heard a bit more from Professor Andrusani. That would be really awesome. He has so much to say. And we were talking about maybe also doing a tutorial aspect in the show, like teaching students how to field record and how to produce good audio quality, or how to slow listen and take in the sounds around them. So that's something I would really like to hear and maybe produce, is some episodes that are informative and that you can kind of get a sense of how the show works without having to be in communications even, or take Vincent's class, or have any previous knowledge of audio production. And, well, Sama has her own episode 50, and I would love to produce one of those.
That would be awesome. Yeah. I can't wait to hear it. I'm already so excited.
Was it fun? Like, how was that experience?
Like, kind of on the topic of like creativity and stuff, I think because I had heard so many projects, I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, am I kind of gonna like, go on the same kind of path that I wanted to kind of explore the same topics that everyone else on the show kind of has, but I felt like I had like a creative block. So when I like first started brainstorming for the episode, I didn't have like a clear, I knew I wanted to talk about like the cities I've lived in, but I was like, hey, well, that's kind of broad. Like, how do I get more specific? Like, yeah, so it was like a bit of a block for a bit, but then one day I just had like, I kind of just like got hit with like a creative burst, and I just like started writing down a script, and I was like, oh, I want to like talk about like the motorcycle sounds, and then I want to talk about like my grandma playing her like music on VHS tape, and like I kind of just like started painting this picture in my head, and I had field recordings from Ottawa that I really wanted to use, kind of about the music scene, about the potholes in the cement, because every time I ride the bus, it's like a roller coaster. And I was like, I feel like that's kind of funny, and other people living here can relate to that. So once I kind of got the ball rolling, I had a lot more fun with it. And I'm like this with any personal project, but I haven't actually, like, I think I've listened to it back like once or twice, but I haven't in a little while, and I don't think I will be. Just because, I don't know, it's like Like I'm really happy with what it came of it, but it's just that self-criticism side of yourself that is like, I don't know if I love this or but I think you'll have a lot of fun with it, and I think the most important part is just making sure it's like what you like to do, and I feel like if you like it, then other people will as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, I loved it.
Thank you.
Thanks. I listened to it when it came out, and I thought it was great. And now, knowing you, I think it's even better. And yeah, I mean, 3 cities, and now you're gonna live in your 4th city.
Yeah, I don't think I haven't mentioned this, but I am actually moving to Germany for exchange. I'm gonna be living in Berlin, which is my 4th city. It's another capital, which is fun and exciting. I'm really excited. I maybe we'll have some more audio stories. I'll have to come back and tell.
Oh, definitely. I mean, Berlin is the place to be for sound.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm excited.
Seeing as you're leaving and I'm going to be in charge of the show, what do you hope for it, and do you have any advice?
That's a great question. I think it's going to be such a cool thing for me to like be a listener now. I feel like because I've been like making them, I haven't done as much listening, but now I'm excited to like see kind of how you go about episodes. My one advice I think I would give is have fun. I know it's a super cliche thing to say, but I think this space just gives you the opportunity to explore, and Vincent has given me like such like the platform to just try new things out, take risks, and not be afraid to just try new things. And I think there is only room for growth and no room for error. So yeah, I think that's just my biggest thing is just have fun, and I think you'll enjoy every bit of it.
Well, you may be getting a text here and there.
I will gladly be happy to help. Well, I am so glad that we got to sit here together today and kind of have this transition episode before your voice becomes the main one. I'm so excited for you. I really think you're going to do such an amazing job. Already just meeting you one time, I just have such a good feeling about how you're going to do. And thank you for coming in today, and I hope you have so much fun.
Thank you so much for talking with me, and I'm very excited, and I hope I can do you justice.
You will. I have no doubt. Thanks for tuning into this episode of The Place of Sound. It has been an absolute pleasure being your host, and make sure you continue tuning in to listen to Natalie guide you through future episodes. If you're interested in checking out more, have a look at theplaceofsound.ca, where you're not only able to hear more audio media, but in some cases, to see some of the original photos and the writing that students produce to go along with it. That's all for me as I sign off as your host for one last time. Take care, and don't forget to listen to the world around you.